Coming up in this episode of the Geek, the Nerd, and the Tangent, we do our inaugural episode. We talk about who we are and what this is. And we got a movie that we saw that we want to talk about. At least 2/3 of us saw it. So here we go. This week in the Geek, the Nerd, and the Tangent is our pilot episode recorded April 12th, 2018. Or actually April 14th. I typed in the wrong date. We aim to brighten your day with information and entertainment. We love to discuss pop culture, movies, TV, and a host of unrelated topics. Let's introduce you to the crew. I am Bret Anderson, and I'm happy to be here. And with me, I have the infamous Erich Mueller.
Hey, or you can call me Erich, because I'm not rich.
He also goes by Punk Lips.
And that voice of the other guy is the all-around good guy, Matt Palmer.
That's me.
Who puts a palm in your face?
Or
a palm tree. For palm oil.
All right, so we're just three guys who just want to talk about stuff, but we like to watch movies, TV. We're geeks, nerds, and tangents. Within that, we go off in strange directions sometimes and have non sequiturs and everything like that. So I
it's
hope
mostly
you guys...
thanks to Erich Punk Lips over there.
And Matt has nicknames for about everybody.
Except Bret.
Yeah, that's true. Bret he's just Bret.
Some people have too much dignity to have nicknames.
Sometimes
some people fit nicknames, other people don't. It's fine though. It doesn't mean anything about anyone as a person, whether or not they have a nickname.
I think that nicknames are a term of endearment in some ways.
They are in my case in general, but
nicknames are cool.
All right, so
like Tupac.
Yeah, just like that.
Or the Notorious B.I.G.
All right, so you guys have any things you need to tell everyone about yourselves before we go into the movie talk?
I'm left-handed.
Ah.
Eric's left-handed, everybody.
To my understanding, left-handed people are more intelligent.
And we're more susceptible to weird diseases.
And they die more. Or die earlier, die more. Everybody dies.
Like Bill Gates, he's left-handed, but he's still around. I think Steve Jobs was left-handed. Don't count me on that.
This is getting depressing.
He's going to Google it for us. Okay. All right, so we saw, well, Erich didn't see this movie. He was unavailable for whatever reason.
I'll tell you why Erich didn't see this movie. So this is the exact text that I got from him yesterday. Just give me 1 second here.
I have defense for this.
No, you don't. There is no defense.
Yeah, there
is. I have a really hard time with this text, and I was personally offended by it.
Paul
It was the new Wes Anderson movie, and that's, I think, why he was offended so much, because Matt's
I do like a
fan.
good Wes Anderson film, particularly Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorite movies ever. I never get sick of it. I always enjoy it. But for Erich, he specifically said, so after much consideration...
I did. I had to think about it.
He had to think about it, which is also part of the offense to me, because
the movie
he considered
is an
a Wes
experience
Anderson
for me.
He considered a Wes Anderson film, and after his consideration, he decided not to see it. He said, "So after much consideration, I'm going to have to pass tonight, but I will see you both at today for the podcast." And then he said that I asked him, what did you have to consider? And he said, the time and the money. Just not wanting to pay the money for a movie I might or might not like. This coming from the man who not too long ago jumped at the chance to watch Kate Winslet break her leg on a mountain in A Mountain Between Us, which was very much a D- movie in my book.
The movie wasn't that bad, but I hadn't seen a movie in a
bad.
while, and when I go to a movie, I see it for an experience. And so if I saw Ready Player One, which was an amazing experience. And then if I go and see another movie, I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't want to take away my experience from Ready Player One.
Look, I'll tell you what. Right now, though, if
it's like you have like only so much movie in you that you can't take in another movie. I thought you could watch movies forever.
if the thing is, if experience is your argument here,
It is.
Wes Anderson movies are the experience of going to the movie.
But I haven't seen any of his. I need to.
All the
This
more
could have been
reason.
the first.
You just said you need to. Why
I
didn't
do
you go?
need to.
You should have gone.
I know, I should have, but if I didn't want to, for some reason, $10 was a lot for me. If it was the $5 Tuesdays,
Okay, well, if
I
that
would have been there.
If that was the text that you sent me, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. If you said I can't fork over $10 right now, it doesn't work for me. That's fine. But if you tell me you considered a Wes Anderson film and you preferred it over A Mountain Between Us, that's killing me, and that makes me die
I like
a little bit.
spontaneousness, and when you asked me to go and see The Mountains Between Us, I had nothing going on. So I was like, why? What? I had nothing to lose. But you're right, I had nothing to lose with the other movie either, except for $10.
Well, we could have paid for you.
No, I had the money. I just didn't want to fork
What
$10. I'm a
getting-
cheapskate. I like $5 Tuesdays.
In his he's trying to be in my consideration, trying to be polite in some way, but actually it comes off as being like
Way worse.
way worse than what you could have just said. Hey, I can't make it tonight, and we would have been like, okay.
I like to use fancy words like consideration.
Fair enough.
It's all good.
But let's talk about
We
it.
still love you, man. Yeah. So the movie we saw, we haven't actually mentioned the title. Is it the Isle of Dogs or just
I think
Isle
it's
of
just
Dogs?
Isle of Dogs, which sounds very much like I love dogs.
Which I think he does love dogs after seeing this.
I think so.
I think he has something against cats. Well, I have something against cats, but
I like cats. They
Nope.
take care of themselves.
Don't let my wife hear you say that.
I don't own a cat.
I had a
My
cat
neighbors
once.
can own cats. That's fine. You need a good mouser around.
That's true.
All right, so Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson's second animated movie, second full-length animated movie, or does he have any others?
I can't confirm that.
He just has Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Which is Matt's
I can't-
favorite
yeah.
movie of all time.
One of them, for sure.
It defines who he is. If you watch that movie, you'll know everything you need to know about Matt Palmer.
There's something to be said for that.
You know how his mind works. So this movie is interesting because it's made like it's a Japanese movie. I don't know how to explain that. What we need to do is
Is it like anime?
It's not anime.
Well, it is animated.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have an animated feel like. With
No, it doesn't have an anime feel.
Oh,
it
it's
has a
just-
stop animation.
Just feels like a Japanese film with American-speaking dogs.
Yes.
I was gonna look up something, but I don't have internet access.
That can be arranged.
Oh, we're getting it. We're getting it. Technical difficulties. We need to have like a little jingle we play every time we have technical difficulties. But anyways, so it takes place in future Japan, where they exiled all dogs to a floating garbage island, and so my mind.
I text you the password.
You take. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Goes the phone.
So now you could get connected there.
But need a good description of the film. I can't. My mind's jello. We watched it late last night, so
Yeah,
I could read what it says from Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, it gives the whole plot.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Generally speaking, when we discuss a movie, we're going to do spoiler-free, not really talk about the plot unless it's just in general terms. I don't like giving away spoilers. Me personally, when I see a movie, I really like to go in there with as little knowledge about it as possible. I try to avoid trailers. I try to avoid other people's reviews until I write my own. that's just how I like to experience a movie. Because like Eric says, movie going is an experience. It's a great thing. And that's, I think, for me, what it's all about. So I want that experience to be my own experience as much as possible.
Also, people think the movie experience is dying. I don't know why. Because the theater is really where it's at to see a movie. Sometimes at your home is nice, but really the theater is the best way. Less distractions, you're not playing on your phone.
It's true. They have tasty rip-off popcorn.
But it is nice sometimes when you see a lame movie that you can just play on your phone and you're like, oh, at least you can mark it off and say, I saw that movie.
Yeah, there's a venue for that.
Yeah, so the movie, futuristic Japan, stop motion animation, Wes Anderson style. Interestingly enough, I wonder how they're going to show this movie in Japan, because all of the human characters except for one or two speak Japanese, and it's not subtitled or anything because only the dogs are speaking in English.
Which I have to say, I have to give credit to the movie for that, because if you can do a movie for the target, I guess the original target audience is probably an English speaking audience, and if you can do a lot of your movie without the audience understanding what the characters are saying, that says a lot about you as a movie maker, because movies in general are made to be seen and not heard as much, right? The dialogue is there for kind of the frosting on the cake, but the visuals and the storytelling through the means of showing, not telling, is really the key to movie making. And I think that's one of the really strong points of this film.
Yeah, for me, the movie, so as it goes on, you have this, so they've exiled all the dogs, and you have this 12-year-old boy who flies to the island, and he's looking for his lost dog, and the dogs are helping him, but he's speaking Japanese the whole time. Every time you see Japanese script in the movie, it gives you like a little English translation, and I thought that was a fascinating way of doing a movie. And I'm just like, how many did he... I haven't seen a lot of Japanese movies, but I think he took a lot of ideas from Japanese movies in what he put together there, I think. I don't know. We need to do some research on that. But
it seems like you're right. I'm not as familiar with Japanese cinema as probably I should be, but...
Yeah, well, just... all I've seen is The Seven Samurai or whatever that's called, the Kurosawa film. A men meeting to watch The Hidden Fortress. You know, Lucas loved Kurosawa, so George Lucas and other filmmakers during that. Kurosawa inspired a lot of American filmmakers. And then as the movie goes on, you have this weird like totalitarian municipality, like making it so like he's going to exterminate all the dogs, and he has cats, and there's like this long history from like ancient Japan where this boy cut off the head of his ancestor in this dog cat war, and they have oversaturation of dogs, and
so it should be a better movie than Cats and Dogs.
Yeah, you could say that.
Definitely.
If you take nothing else away from this, just know it's a better movie than Cats and Dogs.
I do recommend it for a unique experience. I was thoroughly entertained. The stop motion animation, if you like that kind of thing. My wife hates stop motion, but I thought I was amazed by the animation. The story was good. Towards the end, when you get too many of the human characters in there, especially because a lot of them just are speaking Japanese, there's a lot of there's one character who speaks a lot of English, but it kind of slows down. But all in all, it's definitely got a happy ending, and the characters are hilarious.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Bret pointed this out to me last night as well, that I noticed myself kind of not being as into it toward the end of the movie, and that's because it started focusing more on the human side of things. But toward the beginning, you were really focused on the dogs and this kid, and it was a lot more captivating, I thought, and that instance. I think had he been able to build a story a little bit more around just the dogs and this kid, it would have been probably more emotionally emotionally
Resignate. What are the? I know what word you're trying to say, but how come I can't say it? Resonate.
resonating. Yeah. Because a lot of times in Wes Anderson films, at least in the animated ones, the characters feel a lot of emotion, and you see their eyes well up with tears in the stop animation way that Wes Anderson does it.
That's
But
in every one of his movies.
But generally speaking, the audience doesn't really feel the same emotion that those characters are feeling in the movie. Like I think the only emotion you really experience is either exhilaration or humor while watching this movie. You don't necessarily feel that connection that you would expect between a dog and a kid and that sort of thing.
And to me, the dogs were the human characters because they were the ones that we were following, the ones that you could understand. And then when the 4 dogs that were voiced by, Bill Murray and Edward Norton and Jeff Goldblum and what was the other guy? I can't remember. Bryan Cranston plays the main dog, but there's these 4 dogs that are always like talking to each other. And they were hilarious, but then they get split up, and then you have this nice moment between Chief, the Bryan Cranston dog, and the boy. And it's really poignant and it kind of has a good emotion in the whole story. But then I started missing those dogs. I don't know. That's just because I found them so funny. They were so entertaining.
Yeah, the dogs were the best part about this movie for sure. One thing I got to say about Wes Anderson and his ability to direct, I just think flawless comedy that you just don't get in another place. As I think my favorite moment from the film is just one of the most simple things, and it shows how spot on the stop animation really is, how impressive it is. But the first time you see a dog crossing over and basically in a cage on a wire over to the island, it's just such subtle humor, but he looks down, kind of assesses his situation, and then he breaks the 4th wall and just looks up at the audience. And for some reason, for me, that just really resonated. I thought it was hilarious. And it just speaks to just the subtle hilarity that goes into a Wes Anderson film and the uniqueness of it. And in the end, I think there was some slowing down toward the end when you focused more on the human characters. I'm going to forgive it a bit for that because it's such a unique experience anytime you watch a Wes Anderson film. And it is original. It really is. And I know it's been said that you can't have an original story anymore. And I think there's something to be said for that. But at the end of the day, if you finish the movie and you step back and you say, could another director have done this movie? I think the answer has to be no. There's no way another director could have come up with this same story in the same way, put it together in the same humorous tone, and had it come across the way that it did. So that's why I say it's original. Pixar could have done something like this, and they would have made it really emotional and a tearjerker, and
it would have been more of a general audience. This is definitely kids would be bored out of their minds with this movie.
Yeah, it's not for kids.
It's not. It's PG-13.
It's PG-13.
It's not a kids movie.
It's not a kids movie.
It's not.
There might be some kids that like it, but in general,
it is.
If you're a dog lover, you'll definitely like it.
If you want to see something different and it's well made, I would recommend this movie. If you're tired of all the movies you're watching, like you think it's all the same and you're burned out with all the superhero movies, I would say go watch this, and you're going to have a totally different experience, especially in the theater. That animation is good to see on the big screen.
At least it's not another cheesy dog movie. I'm amazed how many dog movies are out there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I was just looking one up that had with Chuck Norris, Top Dog. I mean, he even decided to get in there with the dogs.
Is that an old movie?
Yeah, it is.
Sure it is. One other thing I got to mention about this. I know I'm kind of taking taking a lot of time here, but I do want to say that there was a point in the movie where there was a couple that actually walked out of the film, and to me as a filmmaker, especially after coming off our conversation with Erich, I died a little bit more inside.
Why did they walk out?
I think it's just such a unique way of presenting a movie that they want the superhero movie. They want,
which isn't bad.
We're
not saying that.
They want a
That's
mountain
good.
between us, right? They want
I don't know if they want a mountain between us.
This couple did. I'm sure of that.
If you're gonna go to a movie, you got to know what you're going into. This bothers me that people go and see a movie and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that was gonna be."
Well,
in
you
there,"
didn't go to it.
I know, but still, I
Well,
mean,
that's the thing.
You
He
gotta
didn't
be
go to
smart
it.
when
Yeah.
you go to.
That is good. He
At
didn't
least
walk-
the movie
he
got
didn't-
their money.
You didn't
know?
have
That's the thing.
the feeling of like, oh, I wish I wasn't here because you didn't go to it.
I've never walked out of a movie because I know what I'm doing when I go and see a movie.
I mean, I get it if someone's walking out for a moral reason or whatever. They don't want to watch what's happening on the screen. I get that. But if you're walking out just because you don't get the presentation, it's
Like
not
Far Side
it's
comics.
not resounding with you. Yeah, something like that. That kind of bothers me because I think as humans, we need to be able to appreciate art in all its forms and good art especially. And this is unique. It is storytelling and filmmaking at its best.
Were they an older couple?
No,
Oh,
they were young.
Well,
oh, wow.
it's
Usually,
a quirky movie. I'm
that's
gonna.
strange. Usually, hipsters like this kind of stuff.
I well, I don't
Maybe they
know
won't.
if they were hipsters.
They
I didn't
weren't.
even notice them. I was busy watching a movie.
That's,
I was busy being infuriated.
I've never seen anyone walk out of a movie. I always go to movies that I enjoy, that I know I'm gonna like, and
Well, I'm all about watching
Mountain between us.
different movies. Like I'll watch movies that are just different kind of movies that my wife will like that my wife wouldn't watch. Like a ton of movies I would like. So, like, but I'll watch her movies, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I think overall, I give this movie an A-. Had it not been such a unique experience and such a pleasure to watch, at least the dogs in this movie, and just have a good time, I would have given it probably in the B range, probably a B or a B+. But since it's a unique experience and I had fun watching it and it's original, I give it an A-.
So we have the grade from Matt. I'm more of a see it or don't see it, and I would say this is worth seeing, but A- seems high for my thing. I'm more of like in that B range.
Yeah, I get that. I just give it credit for being what it is, for being original, for being
like the
entertaining
originality.
to the extent
at least
that
it didn't
it
have
is.
the
And
Rock
that-
in it.
And that stop animation is just out of this world.
Oh, if I had The Rock in it, this movie would have all kinds of people going to it. He's got like 2 movies coming into the theaters?
Yeah, the Rampage.
Rampage and then like the
Skyscraper.
or whatever. And then he's just coming off his success of Jumanji, which I never got
Which
to see.
that's crazy how that
I need
was
to
so
see that
successful.
movie.
It
course
came
it was
out.
successful.
It came out at such a good time that it made tons of money. No other movie was competing with it, and all the Star Wars fans were hating Last Jedi, and so it got made.
I wasn't hating The Last Jedi.
I had my internal struggle with The Last Jedi. But they got my money. I need to get it on Blu-ray.
So that's good. Isles of Dogs is a good movie.
I do.
is.
I recommend it. And if you can't handle something that's a little bit artsy, then just don't go.
It is.
Don't make people angry.
Oh
by
no,
leaving.
go
It is
give them
artsy.
money. Because the more money you give, then Wes Anderson will be like, oh, people like my movie. They'll keep making them.
He has Academy Award winning movies now. There's no. He's got it set. If you don't want to see it, don't see
I
it.
promise you, this is up for best animated film.
What's the studio
Oh, yeah.
that produced?
Indian Paintbrush is his production thing, right? I don't know. That's what it says at the beginning. Fox Searchlight
Oh, okay.
distributed. That's like Fox's indie movie thing. They like pick up indie movies. I think
I do
they
remember
also
that now.
distributed Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Will that be under Disney when that whole gets? Will
If
Disney
if the
get their-
FTC approves that whole thing, the Disney takeover of Fox, that'll be interesting. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for listening. We appreciate anybody who listens and give us reviews on iTunes or whatever various platform you're listening to this, we'll hopefully get on a bunch of those platforms. Maybe even Spotify. You can just listen to our show. We on Anchor. We're doing this through Anchor at anchor.fm/nerd geek. Anchor.fm/geek nerd tangent. You can listen to any of our shows there. And where else can we see other works and talk to you guys? I'm on Facebook. I'm going to start a Facebook page, but
Yeah, I have a little YouTube channel that I do. It's called GeoKnow. It's for geologic instructional videos, basically. It's kind of very different from this. And so you could check me out there if you want to. If you're taking an intro to geology class and need some informational boost, you can find me there. But
I'm also on YouTube under my name, Erich Mueller, Erich.
I thought you changed it to Punk Lips.
No, because the change would also change my Gmail. And so I was sending
we got to
emails.
look at that. I think you can change it. I got to look into that.
So I don't want people to think I'm a punk lips from from when I send them an email, especially looking for a job or something.
I do feel a little bad here at this show. We didn't hear much from Erich. Just me ragging on him a little bit. But Erich's a good guy, and he's got a lot of he's got interesting things to say for sure. So I think we need to hear from Erich a little bit at some point. But
No, I'm fine.
yeah, you feeling
I mean,
okay?
I'm
right.
good. I mean,
Well,
we could
we'll
go
catch
off
him-
more about dog movies.
We'll
if
catch him
want.
next time.
I mean, there's a lot of good dog movies. Ones that make you cry.
Dog movies that make you cry.
This is not one of those.
Like Marley and Me. Yeah, that one makes everyone cry. I haven't seen it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll hopefully catch you next week, or it might be a monthly thing. We're still working that out. But thank you. We'll catch you next time.
In the words of Bob Barker, remember to get your dogs spayed and neutered. So since we're ending on dogs.
And cats.
And cats. And cats. And cats.